Imagine this. Deep inside the heart of the divine masculine, there's a hidden chamber filled with thoughts about you, the divine feminine. These thoughts are so powerful, so unexpected, that they might just change everything you believe about your spiritual journey. What if I told you that the divine masculine sees you in a way that's completely different from what you've always thought? Get ready, because what I'm about to share will blow your mind and maybe even shift the way you see yourself forever. Think about it for a moment. All this time, you might have been wondering what goes on in the mind of the divine masculine. Well, I've got news for you. It's not what you think. In fact, it's so surprising that it might make you question everything you thought you knew about your spiritual connection. Are you ready to peek behind the curtain and discover the truth? Trust me, what you're about to learn will leave you speechless. But here's the real kicker. These hidden thoughts of the divine masculine aren't just interesting tidbits. They're like secret keys that can unlock a whole new level of understanding in your spiritual journey. Imagine having a magical mirror that shows you not just your reflection, but the deepest, most honest thoughts of your spiritual counterpart. That's exactly what we're diving into today. So buckle up, because this ride is about to get wild. Now, before we jump into the juicy stuff, let's take a quick moment to chat about what we mean when we say divine masculine and divine feminine. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with complicated spiritual jargon. Think of it this way. We all have a bit of both energies inside us, no matter if we're men or women. The divine feminine is like the moon, intuitive, nurturing, and creative. The divine masculine, on the other hand, is like the sun, strong, protective, and action-oriented. When we talk about the divine masculine's thoughts, we're diving into the energy that exists in all of us, but it's especially strong in those who identify more with masculine traits. It's not about gender, it's about energy. And trust me, understanding what this energy thinks about the divine feminine, that's you, is like finding a treasure map to better relationships, deeper self-understanding, and even personal growth. But why does it matter what the divine masculine thinks about you? Well, imagine you're trying to solve a puzzle, but you're missing half the pieces. Frustrating, right? That's what it's like when you don't understand how the divine masculine sees you. You're missing out on half the picture. By peeking into these thoughts, you're completing the puzzle. You're seeing the whole picture of your spiritual journey. And let me tell you, this isn't just some fluffy spiritual talk. Knowing these thoughts can change the game in your everyday life. It can transform how you approach relationships, how you see yourself, and even how you make decisions. It's like suddenly getting X-ray vision for your spiritual life. Cool, right? All right. Are you ready for the first mind-blowing revelation? Here it comes. The divine masculine sees you, the divine feminine, as the very embodiment of strength. Yeah, you heard that right. Not just strong, but strength itself. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait a minute. Isn't the masculine supposed to be the strong one? Well, hold on to your hats, because we're about to flip that idea on its head. When the divine masculine looks at you, they don't see someone who needs protection or someone who's delicate. Nope. They see a powerhouse of inner strength that's so intense, it's almost intimidating. They see someone who can weather any storm, face any challenge, and come out even stronger on the other side. It's like you're a superhero, but your superpower is your incredible inner strength. But here's where it gets really interesting. This strength isn't about physical power or being tough all the time. The divine masculine recognizes that your strength comes from your ability to feel deeply, to nurture, to be vulnerable, and to keep going even when things get tough. It's a different kind of strength, a strength that comes from the heart. Think about it like this. Imagine a mighty oak tree. It stands tall and strong, right? But what makes it truly strong isn't just its thick trunk or its wide branches. It's the deep, complex root system hidden underground. That's how the divine masculine sees your strength. Deep, complex, and often unseen, but incredibly powerful. Now, why is this so shocking? Well, for starters, it completely turns the traditional idea of masculine and feminine on its head. We're often taught that the masculine protects the feminine, that the feminine needs the masculine to be strong. But in the eyes of the divine masculine, you're not just strong. You're strength itself. You're the source of power, the wellspring of resilience. This revelation can be a total game changer in how you see yourself. How many times have you doubted your own strength? How often have you thought you needed someone else to be strong for you? Well, the divine masculine is here to tell you that you've got it all backwards. You are the strong one. You are the one with the power to move mountains, metaphorically speaking, of course, unless you've been hiding some superhuman abilities. But it's not just about recognizing your strength. It's about understanding that this strength is something the divine masculine admires deeply. It's not threatened by your strength. It's in awe of it. Your strength doesn't diminish the masculine energy. Instead, it complements it, creating a beautiful balance. Imagine for a moment how this realization could change your life. How would you act differently if you truly believed in your own incredible strength? Would you take more risks? Would you stand up for yourself more often? Would you trust yourself to handle whatever life throws your way? The divine masculine already sees this strength in you. Now it's time for you to see it in yourself. But here's a little secret. Recognizing this strength in yourself might feel a bit uncomfortable at first. We're so used to thinking of strength in certain ways that embracing this new perspective can feel strange. It's like trying on a new pair of shoes. They might feel a bit odd at first, but give it time, and you'll realize they fit perfectly. So, how can you start embracing this strength? Well, start by noticing the little things. Notice how you keep going, even when things get tough. Notice how you support others, how you nurture, how you love. These are all expressions of your incredible strength. Celebrate these moments. Acknowledge them. Let yourself feel proud of your strength. And remember, this strength doesn't mean you have to be strong all the time. Even the mightiest oak tree sways in the wind. Your vulnerability, your ability to ask for help when you need it, that's part of your strength too. The divine masculine sees and admires this complete picture of strength. So the next time you're facing a challenge, remember this. You are strength personified. The divine masculine sees it, admires it, and is in awe of it. Now it's your turn to see it in yourself. Trust in your strength, lean into it, and watch how it transforms your world. You've got this. You always have. Now buckle up because this next revelation is going to knock your socks off. Ready? Here it is. The divine masculine sees your intuition as their guiding light. Yeah, you read that right. Your intuition, that gut feeling, that inner knowing, it's not just important to you. It's the North Star for the divine masculine. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait a minute. Isn't the masculine all about logic and reason? Well, here's where things get really interesting. The divine masculine recognizes something profound, that your intuition, your inner wisdom, is a form of intelligence that goes beyond logic. It's like you have a direct line to the universe's wisdom and the divine masculine. They're tuning in to your frequency. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in a dark forest. The divine masculine might have the map, might know all about navigation and survival skills, but you have an inner compass that always points true north. And here's the kicker. The divine masculine knows that your compass is often more reliable than their map. This is huge, and here's why. It completely shifts the dynamic of how we often think about masculine and feminine energies. We're often taught that the masculine leads, decides, knows the way. But in the eyes of the divine masculine, your intuition is the true leader. They see your intuitive hits, your gut feelings, your inner knowing as a form of ancient wisdom that they deeply respect and often rely on. But it goes even deeper than that. The divine masculine doesn't just respect your intuition. They see it as a vital part of the bigger picture. It's like you're the antenna picking up signals from the universe, and they're the radio trying to tune into your frequency. Together, you create a full, rich understanding of the world around you. Now, why is this so surprising? Well, for starters, it challenges the idea that intuition is somehow less valuable than logic or reason. In the eyes of the divine masculine, your intuition isn't just valid, it's vital. It's not just a feeling, it's a form of knowing that's just as important, if not more so, than logical thinking. This revelation can be absolutely life-changing in how you view yourself and your relationships. How many times have you second-guessed your intuition? How often have you pushed aside that gut feeling in favor of what seemed more logical? Well, the divine masculine is here to tell you that your intuition is a superpower, and it's time to start using it. Imagine for a moment how your life might change if you fully embrace this truth. How would you make decisions differently? Would you trust yourself more? Would you speak up more often when you had a feeling about something? The divine masculine already sees the power of your intuition. Now it's time for you to see it too. But here's the thing. Embracing your intuition as a guiding light doesn't mean throwing logic out the window. It's about finding a balance, about recognizing that both intuition and logic have their place. It's like having two eyes. You need both to have depth perception. Your intuition and logic working together give you a fuller, richer understanding of the world. So how can you start honoring your intuition more? Well, it starts with listening. Pay attention to those gut feelings, those little nudges from your inner wisdom. Don't dismiss them just because they don't seem logical. Give them space. Explore them. You might be surprised at how often your intuition leads you in the right direction. And remember, your intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start small. Maybe it's about trusting your gut on little decisions at first. As you build that trust with yourself, you'll find it easier to rely on your intuition for bigger things. Here's another important point. Sharing your intuitive insights can be incredibly powerful. Remember, the divine masculine sees your intuition as a guiding light. So don't be afraid to speak up when you have a strong feeling about something. Your intuitive hits might just be the missing piece someone else needs. But also, be patient with yourself. Learning to fully trust and act on your intuition is a journey. There might be times when you second-guess yourself, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep listening, keep trusting, keep honoring that inner wisdom. So the next time you get a strong gut feeling about something, remember this: your intuition is a guiding light, not just for you, but for the divine masculine too. It's a powerful force, a direct line to universal wisdom. Trust it, nurture it, and watch how it illuminates your path in ways you never imagined. Your intuition is speaking. Are you ready to listen? All right, are you sitting down? Because this next revelation is a real doozy. Here it is. The divine masculine sees your emotions as their greatest teacher. Yep, you heard that right. Those feelings that you might sometimes think of as too much or overwhelming. They're like a master class for the divine masculine. Now, I know this might sound crazy at first. We often think of the masculine energy as being all about logic and reason, keeping emotions in check. But hold on to your hats, because we're about to flip that idea on its head. In the eyes of the divine masculine, your emotional depth isn't something to be managed or contained. It's a profound source of wisdom and growth. Think of it like this. If life is an ocean, your emotions are the currents, the tides, the storms, and the calm seas. The divine masculine? They're learning to navigate this ocean by watching you. Your ability to feel deeply, to ride the waves of emotion, to dive into the depths and emerge again. It's not just impressive to them, it's educational. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about the positive emotions. Your joy, your excitement, your love, yes, these are beautiful, and the divine masculine learns from them. But they also learn from your sadness, your anger, your fear. In fact, these negative emotions might be the most powerful teachers of all. Why? Because in your willingness to feel these emotions, to really experience them rather than push them away, the divine masculine sees incredible strength and wisdom. It's like you're showing them that it's okay to feel, that there's power in embracing all parts of the human experience, even the uncomfortable bits. Now, why is this so mind-blowing? Well, for starters, it completely changes the game when it comes to how we think about emotions in relationships. So often we're taught to hide our negative emotions, to always put on a happy face. But the divine masculine is saying, no, let me see it all. Let me learn from all of you. This revelation can be absolutely transformative in how you view your own emotional landscape. How many times have you felt like you needed to tone down your emotions? How often have you thought your feelings were too much? Well, the divine masculine is here to tell you that your emotions, in all their intensity and variety, are not just okay. They're invaluable. Imagine for a moment how your life might change if you fully embraced this truth. How would you express yourself differently? Would you allow yourself to feel more deeply, to be more authentic in your emotional expression? The divine masculine already sees the profound teaching in your emotions. Now it's time for you to see it too. But here's the thing. Recognizing your emotions as a source of wisdom doesn't mean you have to be ruled by them. It's about finding a balance, about feeling your emotions fully while also being able to reflect on them. It's like being both the actor in a play and the audience watching it. You're fully in the experience, but you're also learning from it. So, how can you start honoring your emotions as the powerful teachers they are? Well, it starts with allowing yourself to feel. When an emotion comes up, resist the urge to push it away or judge it. Instead, get curious about it. What is this feeling trying to tell you? What can you learn from it? And remember, sharing your emotional experiences can be incredibly powerful. The divine masculine sees your emotions as a teacher, so don't be afraid to express what you're feeling. Your emotional honesty might just be the lesson someone else needs to learn. Here's another important point. Learning to value your emotions as teachers is a journey. There might be times when you feel overwhelmed or want to shut down, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep opening up, keep feeling, keep learning from your emotional experiences. But also, be gentle with yourself. Feeling deeply can be intense, and it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to seek support when you need it. Remember, even the most profound teachers need rest sometimes. So the next time you find yourself in the midst of a strong emotion, whether it's joy, sadness, anger, or anything in between, remember this. Your feelings are not just valid, they're valuable. They're not just experiences, they're lessons. They're not just emotions, they're teachers. And the divine masculine? They're eager students, learning and growing through your emotional wisdom. Your emotions are speaking, teaching, guiding. Are you ready to embrace the profound wisdom they offer? Are you ready to be both the teacher and the student in this beautiful, emotional journey of life? Because let me tell you, the divine masculine is ready and waiting to learn from every laugh, every tear, every moment of your rich emotional life. So feel deeply, express freely, and watch how your emotional wisdom transforms not just you, but those around you too. Now, get ready for this one, because it's a real game changer. Here's the shocking truth. The divine masculine sees your vulnerability as their greatest strength. Yeah, you heard that right. Those moments when you feel most open, most raw, most exposed, that's when the divine masculine feels most empowered. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. Isn't vulnerability supposed to be a weakness? Well, hold on to your hats, because we're about to turn that idea completely upside down. In the eyes of the divine masculine, your ability to be vulnerable isn't just admirable, it's a superpower that fuels their own strength. Think about it like this. Imagine vulnerability is like opening a door. When you open up, when you show your true self, fears, doubts, hopes, and all, you're not just revealing yourself. You're creating a space for connection, for growth, for real, deep strength to flourish. And the divine masculine? They're walking right through that door you've so bravely opened. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about the big dramatic moments of vulnerability. Sure, those are powerful. But the divine masculine also sees strength in the small, everyday moments of openness. When you admit you're unsure, when you ask for help, when you share a fear or a hope, these are all acts of vulnerability that the divine masculine sees as incredibly brave and powerful. Now, why is this so unexpected? Well, for starters, It completely flips the script on how we often think about strength in relationships. We're often taught that being strong means being invulnerable, never showing weakness. But in the eyes of the divine masculine, true strength comes from being open, being real, being vulnerable. This revelation can be absolutely life-changing in how you view yourself and your relationships. How many times have you held back from showing your true feelings because you thought it would make you look weak? How often have you put on a brave face when inside you were struggling? Well, the divine masculine is here to tell you that your openness, your willingness to be vulnerable, is not weakness. It's the ultimate strength. Imagine for a moment how your life might change if you fully embraced this truth. How would you express yourself differently? Would you be more open about your feelings, your struggles, your dreams? The divine masculine already sees the incredible strength in your vulnerability. Now it's time for you to see it too. But here's the thing. Embracing vulnerability as a strength doesn't mean you have to bare your soul to everyone all the time. It's about finding a balance, about being authentic and open in a way that feels right for you. It's like having a beautiful, rare gem. You don't need to show it to everyone, but when you do share it, it's incredibly powerful. So how can you start honoring your vulnerability as the strength it truly is? Well, it starts with being honest with yourself. Acknowledge your feelings, your fears, your hopes, even the ones that scare you. Then start sharing these truths with people you trust. Remember, every time you open up, you're not showing weakness. You're demonstrating incredible strength. And remember, being vulnerable is a practice. It might feel scary at first, and that's okay. Start small. Maybe it's telling a friend when you're having a tough day instead of saying you're fine. Maybe it's admitting when you don't know something instead of pretending you do. These small acts of vulnerability can lead to deeper connections and a stronger sense of self. Here's another important point. Your vulnerability doesn't just make you stronger, it gives others permission to be vulnerable too. When you open up, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. And that's where real connections are made, where real growth happens. So the next time you feel the urge to hide your true feelings, to put on a brave face when you're struggling, remember this. Your vulnerability is not a weakness to be hidden. It's a strength to be celebrated. It's not something that diminishes you. It's something that empowers you and those around you. Your openness, your authenticity, your willingness to be seen in all your beautiful, imperfect glory. That's what true strength looks like to the divine masculine. And that's the kind of strength that can change the world. All right. Are you ready for this mind-bending truth? Here it comes. The divine masculine sees your creativity as their ultimate source of inspiration. That's right. Your ability to create, to bring new ideas and beauty into the world, isn't just impressive to them. It's the spark that lights their own creative fire. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But wait, isn't the masculine energy supposed to be about action and doing, not creating? Well, buckle up, because we're about to shatter that misconception. In the eyes of the divine masculine, your creative energy is like a wellspring of inspiration that never runs dry. Think of it like this. If life is a blank canvas, your creativity is the palette of colors, the brushes, the inspiration for every stroke, the divine masculine. They're learning to paint their own masterpiece by watching you create yours. Your ability to see beauty where others see nothing, to bring form to the formless, to express the inexpressible. It's not just amazing to them, it's transformative. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about artistic creativity, though that's certainly part of it. The divine masculine sees creativity in everything you do. The way you solve problems, the way you express your emotions, the way you nurture relationships, all of this is creativity in action. And it's all deeply inspiring to the divine masculine. Now, why is this so astonishing? Well, for starters, it completely redefines how we often think about inspiration and creativity in relationships. We're often taught that the masculine energy is the doer, the achiever, while the feminine energy is the supportive force. But in reality, the divine masculine sees your creative energy as the driving force behind their own achievements and growth. This revelation can be absolutely transformative in how you view your own creative gifts. How many times have you downplayed your creativity, thinking it wasn't practical or important enough? How often have you held back from expressing your ideas, fearing they might be dismissed? Well, the divine masculine is here to tell you that your creativity isn't just valid, it's vital. It's not just a hobby or a pastime. It's a powerful force that inspires and changes the world around you. Imagine for a moment how your life might change if you fully embraced this truth. How would you express your creativity differently? Would you give yourself more time and space to create? Would you share your ideas more boldly? The divine masculine already sees the profound inspiration in your creativity. Now it's time for you to see it too. But here's the thing. Recognizing your creativity as a source of inspiration doesn't mean you have to produce masterpieces every day. It's about embracing your unique way of seeing and interacting with the world. It's like having a special pair of glasses that only you can wear. When you look through them, you see possibilities and beauty that others might miss. So how can you start honoring your creativity as the inspirational force it truly is? Well, it starts with giving yourself permission to create. Set aside time for your creative pursuits, whatever they may be. Remember, creativity isn't just about art. It's about cooking, gardening, problem solving, even the way you organize your space. All of these are expressions of your unique creative energy. And remember, sharing your creative expressions can be incredibly powerful. The divine masculine sees your creativity as inspiration, so don't be afraid to share your ideas, your projects, your unique way of seeing the world. Your creative spark might just be the flame that ignites someone else's imagination. Here's another important point. Nurturing your creativity is a journey. There might be times when you feel blocked or uninspired, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep exploring, keep expressing, keep creating in whatever way feels right to you. But also, be gentle with yourself. Creativity isn't about perfection. It's about expression and exploration. Give yourself the freedom to experiment, to make mistakes, to create just for the joy of creating. Remember, even the most brilliant artists have off days. So the next time you have a creative impulse, whether it's to paint a picture, write a story, rearrange your furniture, or find an innovative solution to a problem, remember this. Your creativity is not just a personal indulgence. It's a powerful force that inspires and transforms. It's not just about making something beautiful, though it certainly can be. It's about bringing new energy, new ideas, new possibilities into the world. Your creativity is speaking, inspiring, transforming. Are you ready to let it flow freely? Are you ready to see how your unique creative gifts can light up not just your life, but the lives of those around you? Because let me tell you, the divine masculine is ready and waiting to be inspired by every brushstroke, every word, every innovative idea that springs from your boundless creativity. So create boldly, express freely, and watch how your creative spirit becomes a beacon of inspiration for the world around you. Now that we've uncovered these mind-blowing truths about how the divine masculine sees you, you might be wondering, okay, this is all amazing, but what do I do with this information? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into how you can use these revelations to supercharge your life and relationships. First things first, let's talk about embracing your strength. Remember, the divine masculine sees you as strength personified. So how can you embody this truth? Start by recognizing your own power in everyday situations. When you face a challenge, instead of doubting yourself, remind yourself, I am strength. This isn't about being tough all the time. It's about acknowledging the strength in your softness, in your ability to persevere, in your capacity to love and nurture. Try this. Every morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am strength. Feel it in your bones. Carry that feeling with you throughout your day. Watch how it changes the way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, the way you interact with others. You might be surprised at how this simple affirmation can transform your life. Now let's talk about your intuition, your inner guiding light. The divine masculine sees your intuition as invaluable, so it's time for you to start trusting it more. Start paying attention to those gut feelings, those little nudges from your inner wisdom. Don't dismiss them just because they don't seem logical. Here's a practical way to develop your intuition. At the start of each day, take a few quiet moments to tune in to your inner voice. Ask yourself, what do I need to know today? Listen to what comes up, even if it doesn't make sense right away. As you go through your day, notice how those intuitive hits play out. The more you practice this, the stronger your connection to your intuition will become. Next up, let's dive into the power of your emotions. Remember, the divine masculine sees your emotions as their greatest teacher. So instead of trying to push down your feelings or label them as good or bad, start seeing them as valuable information. Try this. When you're feeling a strong emotion, instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to get curious about it. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What can I learn from this? This simple practice can turn every emotional experience into an opportunity for growth and self-understanding. Now let's talk about vulnerability. The divine masculine sees your vulnerability as strength. So it's time to start embracing those moments when you feel open and exposed. This doesn't mean you have to bare your soul to everyone you meet. It's about being authentic and allowing yourself to be seen, flaws and all. Here's a way to practice this. The next time you're struggling with something, instead of trying to handle it all on your own, reach out to someone you trust. Share what you're going through. You might be amazed at how this act of vulnerability can deepen your connections and actually make you feel stronger. Lastly, let's talk about your creativity. The divine masculine sees your creativity as their ultimate inspiration, so it's time to let that creative spirit flow freely. This isn't just about artistic pursuits, though those are great too. It's about approaching life itself with a creative mindset. Try this. Set aside some time each week for pure creative expression. This could be anything from painting to cooking to gardening to writing. The important thing is that you're creating for the joy of it, not for any specific outcome. As you do this, notice how it energizes you and brings new inspiration into other areas of your life. Remember, embracing these aspects of your divine feminine energy isn't about changing who you are. It's about recognizing and celebrating the power you've had all along. It's about stepping fully into your authentic self and allowing your light to shine brightly. As you start to embody these truths, your strength, your intuition, the wisdom of your emotions, the power of your vulnerability, and the inspiration of your creativity, you might notice some changes in your life. Your relationships may deepen. You might feel more confident in your decisions. You may find yourself approaching challenges with a new sense of empowerment. But here's the most important thing to remember. This is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when you feel like you're embodying all of these qualities effortlessly, and days when you struggle to connect with them at all. And that's okay. The key is to be patient with yourself, to keep coming back to these truths, to keep embracing all aspects of your divine feminine power. So as you go forward from here, carrying these revelations about how the divine masculine sees you, remember this. You are already everything you need to be. You are strength. You are wisdom. You are emotional depth. You are beautiful in your vulnerability. You are an endless source of creativity and inspiration. The divine masculine sees all of this in you. Now it's time for you to see it in yourself. Embrace your divine feminine power. Let it shine through in everything you do. Watch how it transforms not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Because when you fully step into your power, you give others permission to do the same. And that's how we change the world, one divine connection at a time. Let me share with you a story that perfectly illustrates how understanding these divine masculine thoughts can transform a relationship. This isn't just any story. It's a real-life example of how embracing your divine feminine power can create magic in your connections. Meet Sarah and Mike. They'd been together for 5 years, and while they loved each other deeply, something felt off. Sarah often felt like she needed to downplay her emotions, thinking they were too much for Mike. She second-guessed her intuition, always deferring to Mike's more logical approach. And her creative pursuits? They took a back seat to what she considered more practical concerns. Mike, on the other hand, felt a constant pressure to be the strong one, to always have the answers. He admired Sarah's emotional depth and creativity, but didn't know how to express it. He felt lost when it came to understanding her intuitive hits and often dismissed them as just feelings. Then, Sarah stumbled upon the concept of divine masculine and divine feminine energies. As she learned about how the divine masculine truly sees the divine feminine, a light bulb went off. She realized she'd been hiding her true power, thinking it was too much for her relationship. Slowly, Sarah started to embrace her divine feminine energy. She began trusting her intuition more. sharing her gut feelings with Mike even when they seemed illogical. To her surprise, Mike didn't dismiss them. Instead, he started to rely on her intuitive hits, often finding that they led to better decisions than pure logic alone. Sarah also allowed herself to feel her emotions fully, no longer trying to tone them down. She shared her joys, her fears, her frustrations openly with Mike. At first, this was uncomfortable for both of them. But as time went on, Mike realized that Sarah's emotional depth wasn't something to be managed. It was something to learn from. He found himself becoming more in touch with his own emotions, more empathetic, more connected not just to Sarah but to everyone in his life. When it came to vulnerability, Sarah took a leap of faith. Instead of always trying to appear strong, she started sharing her insecurities, her doubts, her struggles with Mike. And you know what? Instead of seeing her as weak, Mike was in awe of her courage. He found himself opening up more too, sharing parts of himself he'd always kept hidden. Their connection deepened in ways they never imagined possible. And Sarah's creativity? She decided to prioritize it, carving out time each week for her painting. Mike saw how alive she became when she was creating, how her eyes sparkled with inspiration. He found himself inspired too, picking up his long-abandoned guitar, rediscovering his own creative spark. As Sarah stepped more fully into her divine feminine power, something amazing happened. Mike no longer felt the pressure to always be the strong one, to have all the answers. He found strength in Sarah's strength, wisdom in her intuition, inspiration in her creativity. Their relationship transformed from one of unspoken tensions to one of true partnership, each supporting and amplifying the other's unique gifts. This story isn't unique to Sarah and Mike. It's a testament to what can happen when we understand and embrace the true nature of divine masculine and divine feminine energies. When we step fully into our power, we not only transform ourselves, we transform our relationships and the world around us. So, as you reflect on your own journey, ask yourself, how can you embrace your divine feminine power more fully? How might your relationships transform if you allowed your true strength, your intuition, your emotional wisdom, your vulnerability, and your creativity to shine? The answers might just surprise you and lead you to a level of connection you never thought possible. As we come to the end of this incredible journey into the mind of the divine masculine, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound truths we've uncovered. We've delved into the surprising, sometimes shocking ways that the divine masculine truly sees the divine feminine, as strength personified, as an intuitive guide, as an emotional teacher, as powerful in vulnerability, and as an endless source of creative inspiration. These revelations aren't just interesting tidbits of spiritual knowledge. They're powerful keys that can unlock a whole new level of self-understanding, empowerment, and connection in your life. By embracing these truths about how the divine masculine sees you, you're not just changing your perspective. You're stepping into your full, radiant power as a divine feminine being. Remember, this journey of embracing your divine feminine energy is exactly that, a journey. It's not about perfection or suddenly becoming a completely different person overnight. It's about slowly, steadily allowing yourself to embody these truths more and more each day. It's about recognizing the power that's been within you all along and letting it shine brightly. Your strength is not just in your ability to endure, but in your capacity to feel deeply, to nurture, to persevere with grace and love. Your intuition is a powerful guide, not just for you, but for those around you. Trust those gut feelings, those inner nudges. They're your direct line to universal wisdom. Your emotions are not burdens to be managed, but profound teachers offering valuable lessons. Feel them fully, learn from them. Let them guide you to deeper understanding. Your vulnerability is not weakness, but the ultimate display of courage and strength. In opening yourself up, you create space for real, deep connections. Your creativity is not a frivolous pursuit, but a vital force that brings beauty, innovation, and inspiration into the world. Let it flow freely and watch how it transforms not just your life, but the lives of those around you. As you embrace these aspects of your divine feminine nature, you may find your relationships deepening, your sense of purpose growing stronger, your connection to the world around you becoming more profound. You may find yourself approaching challenges with a new sense of empowerment, making decisions with more confidence, and living each day with more joy and authenticity. But perhaps most importantly, as you step fully into your divine feminine power, you give others permission to do the same. Your radiance, your strength, your openness becomes a beacon, inspiring those around you to embrace their own divine nature. So go forth from here with this new understanding. Let it inform how you see yourself, how you move through the world, how you connect with others. Embrace your divine feminine power in all its beautiful, complex, awe-inspiring glory. Because when you do, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing the world, one divine connection at a time. Remember, you are already everything you need to be. You are strength, wisdom, emotional depth, beautiful vulnerability, and endless creativity. The divine masculine sees all of this in you. Now it's time for you to see it in yourself. Shine bright, divine feminine. The world is waiting for your light.